I'm reviewing every MCU movie and TV show in chronological order until Avengers Doomsday is released. This week, I'm reviewing Iron Man 2. You just escaped death, and now it's come back, and it has you cornered. How do you think you'd react? Now, looking back, Iron Man 2 got dark. First impressions watching this again. You know, when I watched this, I was 12 years old in theaters, but now I'm 28. Didn't want to say that on camera, but I didn't. So following up on Iron Man comes its sequel. It's 6 months after the first movie takes place, and the world has changed in the Marvel Universe so far. Tony Stark is Iron Man, that's public knowledge. Now the government wants to seize Tony's suits, his armor. They don't think that he has the best interest of America, but more so they just want his fucking weapons again. And the public does see Tony Stark as a hero. They believe in him. They think that he is kind of like the solution to the, terrorist problem, or the just danger to America problem, the threats against the country. And it turns out both are right in their own ways. But also Tony is facing an unseen battle just within, And when I say that, I mean he's fucking dying from the arc reactor. The thing that once saved his life is now killing him. And so he basically has a few weeks or months to live, and he's handling just like I'm sure you would. He's losing his fucking mind. When you're trying to figure things out and face death and look it straight in its eyes, you're gonna make some mistakes. And this in turn causes an internal crisis within Tony. And personally, I love it. I think that was the right way to go with this movie and kind of give this character more depth. Now, what worked? RDJ delivers a performance that was expected, from the first one, but it adds more depth to it. Now, Tony is kind of seen to us as the audience, we're like, yo, he's the guy that has his shit together. He's cool, calm, and collect, even when in the face of death. But now with this movie, we do see a different side of Tony where he's not able to figure this thing out by himself. And Robert Downey Jr. does a really good job in portraying that, kind of the stubbornness that lies within Tony Stark of just like, I can do this on my own. I know what I'm doing. I can figure this out. But really, he doesn't. Justin Hammer, great character. I hope he comes back. I gotta say that before this video ends. Justin Hammer was a great addition to the MCU. Definitely a villain that should be reused, should be brought back. I want to see him come back. I think he's a brilliant, flip of the coin where it's Tony Stark on one side and Justin Hammer on the other. Definitely something that should be explored more, because I feel like Justin Hammer is what Tony Stark would be if he was a little less cool and wasn't in the cave.
I don't know if you know this, but I don't speak Russian!
The visuals are a bit more flashy in this movie. Not over the top in any sense like that where I'm saying like it's a bad thing. I think that they took everything that we loved from the first movie and they made it grander in this movie. I think that there was a lot more cooler shots compared to the first one. I love that the visuals still held up. Again, kind of like from the first movie. So a lot of the things from the first movie translate into this movie. Again, now music-wise, you guys know me. Don't really care, but I'm thinking that's starting to change. I'm seeing that with Iron Man in particular, the music just fits, especially with that first scene where he's encompasses the character as a whole through the music. So I have an appreciation for that. I don't know how long that's gonna last for other movies, but I'm finding more appreciation with it with Tony Stark and his character. Tone-wise, this is where I love the direction that they went with this movie. Now, I know a lot of people didn't like this movie. I'm not one of those people, all right? We're in a place of panic and impulse, and on top of that, there's a state of loneliness that you're feeling with Tony Stark. Just filling in the story as a whole. Now, whether it was serious or comedic, that tone didn't go away. The way that they were still implementing that in different scenes, you still felt that. Then to go into emotional beats, they also landed the plane in this category. If you've never experienced that feeling of maybe your life is coming to an end, you think that you might be dying or your life's ending soon, you might not understand this movie fully, and I'll elaborate on that a little later. Here's what I think didn't work. Now, a lot of people didn't like this movie for various reasons, but here are my reasons why I didn't like it. For my research, this was heavily edited by Marvel Studios. You know, Jon Favreau is a good director. He obviously did the first Iron Man and it became a classic in the MCU, and he was the director of Iron Man 2. But there was a lot of editing done, and I know that there was commentary throughout the movie where he was explaining, no, we had to cut this is a deleted scene. So some things in this movie did feel like it was just cut short, and you can tell. And just following up on that, Ivan Vanko is one of those villains that it's like, man, if we had a little bit more backstory on him, we could almost see him as like a Magneto type character where, yes, he's a bad guy, but you could see where he's coming from. You could see why he's doing what he's doing and why you might even believe that he's right in a sense. And I felt like, you know, the things that were cut probably took that away from us. Really, those are my only critiques that I have for this movie, is that some things felt like they were taken away from us. What exactly do I mean when I say Iron Man 2 got dark? Okay, so try to imagine that you're finally living life right, and then as soon as that happens, there's a countdown to your life ending. So you're gonna want to get your affairs in order, you're gonna want to leave your legacy in the right hands, and you're gonna want people to, you know, act out your will as you would want them to, right? And then here's one thing that maybe people that have been through some turmoil can recognize. You either try to fight it or you self-destruct. I get it, Iron Man 2 has issues of it being kind of all over the place, but I feel like that's what makes this kind of relatable now, looking at this movie not as a 12-year-old, but as a 28-year-old that has been a little seasoned by life. Like the scene where he's sitting in the car and he's like, you know, looking halfway fucking dead. I think a lot of people can relate to that feeling. Like, damn, kind of, you know, you got problems on top of fucking problems. It's like, damn, when am I gonna get a break? Now look, I don't want to get too deep into it, but yeah, I've been sad, I've been down, and I hate to even admit it, a little depressed from time to time. And I've even had some anxiety thinking about my own mortality, you know, if I'm living right. Who am I leaving my legacy to? And this is gonna sound fucked up, but trying to convince myself that I've lived life right. And really, that's what I feel like Tony's going through in this movie. And that's why it feels so relatable. And it does feel like something the MCU hasn't attempted in a long time. And so, I guess what I'm getting at, even with all the things that felt like it was held back from us, this movie still delivers a really great sequel. Now, for all the parents out there wondering, is Iron Man 2 appropriate to watch with the family? I would say yeah. So overall, there's some language in there, and there's even a scene where Scarlett Johansson is changing in the back of a car, but it's very brief, and hey, if your kids can't handle seeing a bra, you got bigger problems, dude. Also, I'm not saying that kids should be seeing bras like that anyway, but you get what I'm saying. It was on the screen for like 5 seconds. So what can parents take away from this movie to kind of teach their kids? Me personally, I think it's that you're not alone, and you can always keep learning, and to never give up hope. You know, Iron Man is going through such a struggle in this movie, especially with just, you know, trying to do right, and, you know, that whole thing of feeling alone, that loneliness can lead you to self-destruct. You know, he was trying really hard to fight at first and trying to ignore, like, yeah, I'm gonna fucking die. But, you know, in that process, he ignored it too long. He should have just been up forth with what he was going through and get some help before it turned into him making even more and more mistakes. Don't let your problems keep adding up. You know, talk to somebody, try to get some help. And I know, as, you know, this is gonna sound fucking macho, but as men, we don't want to do that type of shit, but we have to get some help. So do yourself a favor, get some fucking help, you know, leave a comment if you need some help. And, you know, look, you're not alone, you know, and there's no shame in getting some help from time to time. All right. So where does Iron Man 2 rank? Hey, we got another B tier, all right? It's not the worst, it's not the best, but it was very enjoyable. And yeah, anybody that rags on this movie, shut up. Hey guys, if you enjoyed this video, please leave a like. And if you want more Marvel Monday reviews like this one, go ahead and subscribe to the channel, support us. And hey, every Monday, we're dropping a new video. Hey, I'm gonna tell you right now though, too, if I was in Tony Stark's shoes and I have, you know, ridiculous, unlimited money, basically, I'm doing some foolishness, all right?